He was
This
a
is the
billionaire's son
breakthrough.
who
You
failed
see how
every
these
exam,
connect? It
until the
changes
maid's daughter
everything.
uncovered the one secret
Wait,
that
I think
changed
I
his
finally
life
get it.
forever. But when their worlds collide, power, pride, and family war threaten to tear them apart. What happens next will rewrite everything they thought they knew about success and love. Daniel Reese had grown up in a world built on glass towers, silent elevators, and the constant hum of wealth. Reese Innovations, founded by his father, Adrian Reese, wasn't just a company. It was an empire. People didn't whisper about them, they talked openly. The billion-dollar contracts, the AI labs, the private jets, the house in Napa. But behind closed doors, the Reese mansion hid a truth so shocking that even the tabloids hadn't fully pieced it together. The billionaire's only son was failing every test. At 19, Daniel had burned through more tutors than most students met in a lifetime. Professors at his elite private college whispered, "He's a lost cause." Influencers mocked him in clips that went viral. Money can't buy brains. The latest failure had hit harder than all the rest. His father didn't yell. He didn't throw a fit. Adrian simply sat across from him at the brink of dawn breakfast table, eyes cold and exhausted. "You have one last chance," Adrian said. "Midterms. You pass or you lose everything." Everything. His trust fund. His car. His place in the company. His dignity. Daniel swallowed the lump in his throat and only nodded. Because what could he say? That he wasn't stupid. He just couldn't read like everyone else? That every line of text swam, twisted, or blurred. That he had spent his entire life memorizing workarounds, hiding his shame, pretending? He couldn't. The words had never come out. Not to his father. Not to anyone. Enter Elena Torres. The Reese household had been short-staffed for weeks after the former housekeeper quit abruptly, unable to endure Adrian's impossible standards. Elena arrived from East LA with warm eyes, hard-working hands, and a daughter she refused to leave alone at home. That daughter was Maya, 18. Brilliant. Fierce. A girl whose backpack weighed more than she did, filled with books, notebooks, and scholarship forms. Elena asked if Maya could sit quietly in the staff quarters while she worked. Adrian, uninterested in domestic details, waved permission without looking up. But Maya didn't stay hidden for long. She wandered, politely, shyly, into the massive Reese library, where she found Daniel. She hadn't meant to interrupt. She was simply drawn by the towering shelves, the smell of leather, the gigantic skylight pouring sun across countless volumes she could only dream of owning. But as she rounded a corner, she froze. Daniel Reese sat hunched over a thick economics textbook, tapping the page with a pencil like the numbers offended him. His brows were furrowed, his expression tight. He looked frustrated, but more than that, afraid. Before she could turn away, he noticed her. "You're not supposed to be here," he mumbled, slamming the book shut. Maya blushed. "Sorry. I love books. I've never seen so many in one place." Daniel stared at her, expecting mockery. Instead, she just smiled sheepishly and clutched her notebook closer. He sighed. "It's fine. I'm just studying." It wasn't fine. She could see the way his fingers trembled, the way he kept the book half hidden, as if ashamed. And then she noticed something else, something subtle, something familiar from tutoring a cousin back home. The way his eyes darted from left to right, the way he traced each line with his finger, the way he blinked rapidly whenever the text began to overwhelm him. "Has anyone ever tested you for dyslexia?" she asked softly. Daniel froze. "What did you just say?" I'm sorry," she stammered. "I didn't mean to intrude. It's just my cousin had similar signs and—" "I don't need your help," he snapped. Her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. She backed away immediately. "I'm sorry. I'll leave." But as she turned, Daniel's voice cracked behind her. "Wait." She paused. He swallowed hard. "You really think I'm dyslexic?" "I'm not an expert," she said gently. "But you read like someone who's working twice as hard as everyone else. You're not slow. Your brain might just process differently. Different. Not broken. Not dumb." Daniel didn't breathe for 5 whole seconds. "How did you know?" he whispered. "Because I've spent my whole life helping kids who can't afford private tutors," she said. "And because I pay attention." He looked at her, really looked, and something inside him cracked. "Can you help me?" he asked. Maya hesitated. She knew the dangers of blurring lines between the wealthy and the staff. but she also saw the desperation in his eyes. "I can try," she said, "but only if you treat me like a person, not like someone beneath you." "I will," he said instantly. "I promise." And just like that, everything changed. The next afternoon, Maya showed him her method. "Neuropattern learning," she explained. "It's color-based, shape-based. It rewires how the brain organizes language." She rewrote his economics problems using bright markers: red for variables, blue for constants, green for outcomes. She turned confusing formulas into visual puzzles that actually made sense. Daniel stared at the page in disbelief. I can read this," he whispered. "I know," Maya said with a proud smile. He tried solving another problem, then another, and another. He didn't get everything right, but for the first time in his life, the words didn't betray him. He wasn't drowning. He wasn't lost. He was learning. When Maya finally packed up her things to leave, Daniel caught himself staring. "Thank you," he said softly. "You have no idea what this means." She gave him a warm, honest smile. "You're welcome, Daniel." The boy who had everything had just found the one thing he never knew he was allowed to ask for: hope. Daniel's world transformed in just 2 weeks. He still woke up in the same mansion, still walked the same marble halls, still faced the same pressure, but something fundamental had shifted. For the first time in 19 years, knowledge wasn't his enemy, because Maya Torres had built him a bridge. Every afternoon, she arrived with highlighters, flashcards, diagrams, and a fierce determination that both terrified and inspired him. Again, she would say when he got a formula wrong. "Try this angle," she'd suggest when numbers blurred into chaos. "Breathe, Daniel," she'd remind him when panic clawed up his throat. She didn't sugarcoat anything, didn't pity him, didn't treat him like a billionaire's son. She treated him like someone worth teaching. And Daniel found himself looking forward to every session, for reasons beyond academics. Their study sessions became rituals. Some days they used the library, others the garden or the rooftop overlooking Los Angeles. Maya preferred natural light. She said it helped the brain relax. Daniel preferred anywhere she was. He learned that Maya wanted to become a neuroscientist, that she stayed up late helping her younger brother with school, that her mother worked 2 jobs before landing the position at the Reese mansion, that Maya took pride in every small victory life allowed her. "Why neuroscience?" he asked one day as they sat cross-legged on the library floor. "Because brains are complicated but fixable," she said. "And because kids like you shouldn't spend their whole lives thinking something's wrong with them." Daniel swallowed hard. "No one ever tried to fix me before," he whispered. "No one ever understood you," she corrected. Their eyes met a second too long, a beat too heavy, a moment too dangerous. Maya cleared her throat. "Let's get back to work." But the air between them had changed. Daniel's improvement didn't go unnoticed. His professors emailed his father about his sudden performance spike. Adrian pretended not to be impressed, but his silence was unmistakably hopeful. One evening, Adrian invited Daniel to a business dinner, something he hadn't done in years. "This is your chance to show me you're serious," Adrian said. Daniel nodded nervously, Maya's methods echoing in his head. The dinner was a display of wealth and power. Executives, investors, CEOs. When a board member asked Daniel to read a short proposal aloud, he froze. Every letter blurred. The old fear roared back. But then, from across the room, Maya appeared, carrying a tray of drinks for the waitstaff. She didn't speak, didn't move closer. She simply tapped her thumb against her index finger twice. Their signal. Breathe in. Focus. Color the words in your mind. Daniel inhaled. Exhaled. Read. Slowly. Steadily. Correctly. People applauded. Adrian looked stunned. Daniel looked at Maya. She smiled, small, secret, proud. But not everyone was happy. Rumors began swirling around the mansion staff. The maid's daughter is spending too much time with the billionaire's son. She's using him. She's after money. Someone snapped a picture of them studying in the garden and posted it online with a nasty caption. Adrian saw it, and everything exploded. "What were you thinking?" Adrian barked, slamming his hand on the marble kitchen island as Daniel stood frozen in shock. "She's helping me," Daniel insisted. "She's the reason I'm improving." "She is the help," Adrian snapped. She is not your tutor or your equal. Daniel felt something inside him snap. She's smarter than every tutor you've ever hired. Adrian's eyes narrowed dangerously. Elena and her daughter are fired. They leave today. Daniel's chest tightened. You can't do that. Maya is. She is nothing to you. She's everything to me. Daniel shouted. Silence. For the first time, Adrian looked shaken. Daniel, he began. But Daniel wasn't listening. He ran. Out the door. Through the courtyard. To the staff wing where Maya was already packing. Maya, don't go, he pleaded. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling. We don't have a choice. My father is wrong, Daniel whispered. We can't fight him, she said. Daniel grabbed her shoulders, desperate. Then I'll leave with you. Her breath hitched. Daniel, you can't. I can. He meant it. Every word. But before she could answer, Elena entered and gently pulled her daughter away. We need to go, she said softly. And Daniel stood there, helpless, watching Maya walk out of his life. Midterms came 3 days later. Daniel sat in the silent classroom, heart pounding, hands clammy. He could barely breathe. Without Maya, everything felt impossible. But then he remembered her voice. Breathe, Daniel. He did. Color the words. He did. You're not broken. He believed her. He completed the exam, trembling but determined. Results came a week later. Daniel Reese, the boy who had failed every test, had passed all his classes. But instead of celebrating, he stood alone in his bedroom, staring at the empty space where Maya used to sit. Success meant nothing without the person who gave him the courage to try. And so he made a decision that would shock the entire Reese empire. He packed a suitcase, walked downstairs, faced his father with steady, unflinching eyes, and said, If she leaves, I leave too. Daniel had never seen the world from the ground level before. Not the marble floor, glass ceiling world of billionaires, but the real world, cracked pavements, crowded buses, small apartments where every square foot mattered. The Torres apartment was tiny, loud, full of clutter and warmth. Maya's little brother, Mateo, ran in circles with a toy car. Elena cooked in a kitchen barely big enough for one person. Their couch doubled as a bed. Their bathroom light flickered. And yet Daniel felt more at peace there than he ever had in the Reese mansion. Are you sure about this? Maya whispered that first night. Yes, he said without hesitation. I want to be where I matter. Maya didn't reply, but her eyes softened in a way that made Daniel's heart ache. He found a job quickly, a part-time position at a small tech repair shop. The owner, Mr. Chong, didn't care that Daniel had grown up in a mansion. You know how to fix a motherboard? Not yet. Then sweep the floors. Daniel learned fast. He loved the normalcy, the steady paycheck, the honest work, the lack of paparazzi. At night, he studied with Maya again. She didn't treat him like a billionaire's son. She treated him like someone capable of becoming better. Their bond deepened in ways neither dared voice. They studied together, ate together, walked to the bus stop together. Sometimes their hands brushed. Neither pulled away. Meanwhile, the Reese empire was falling apart. A major data leak hit the news. Stocks plummeted. Investors panicked. For the first time, Adrian Reese, the man who thought he controlled everything, was powerless. He called Daniel. Daniel ignored it. He sent messages. Daniel didn't reply. He arrived at the Torres apartment. Daniel opened the door, but didn't step aside. Son, Adrian began. I'm not your pawn anymore, Daniel said quietly. Adrian swallowed hard, his pride visibly cracking. I came to apologize, he said. Daniel blinked in shock. I was wrong about you. I was wrong about Maya. I was wrong about everything. Elena peeked out from the kitchen. Maya froze mid-step. Adrian turned to them. I'm sorry for how I treated you, he said, voice lower than Daniel had ever heard. And I'm sorry for hurting your daughter. Maya exchanged a stunned look with Daniel. And Daniel, Adrian continued, I need your help. For the first time since childhood, Daniel saw vulnerability in his father's eyes. Reese innovations won't survive without new ideas, Adrian said. And your performance, your methods, your growth, that's something I've never understood. Daniel's heart hammered. You didn't come here for the company, he said. You came because you finally see me. Adrian's silence said everything. Then here's my condition, Daniel said. If I come back, Maya comes too. She becomes co-lead of a new learning division. And we build something real. Something that helps people like me. Adrian looked at Maya. Her eyes were filled with both fear and fire. I accept, Adrian said. And just like that, everything changed again. Months passed. Together, Daniel and Maya developed the Torres-Reese learning system, a digital tool using Maya's neuropattern methods to help students with dyslexia and other learning differences. It exploded across schools, then states, then national education boards. Teachers loved it. Students thrived. Investors flooded in. Daniel wasn't the billionaire's failure anymore. He was a pioneer. Maya wasn't the maid's daughter. She was the revolutionary mind behind a breakthrough in education. And their partnership only grew stronger, professionally and personally. One night, after a long meeting at Stanford, where Maya had just been accepted on scholarship, Daniel walked her to the parking lot. The air was cool. Quiet. Soft. Are you scared? Daniel asked. About Stanford? She said. A little. You'll be brilliant. She laughed. What if it takes me away from you? It won't, he said. How do you know? Daniel stepped closer. Because I'm in love with you, Maya. She froze. The world did too. I didn't just learn because of you, Daniel whispered. I lived because of you. Her breath caught. She reached up, touched his cheek, and whispered. I love you too. Their kiss was soft. Certain. Inevitable. Two worlds, once impossibly far apart, finally collided in the one place that mattered. The future they built together. Years later, Daniel Reese stood on a stage at a national education conference, the world watching. Maya, now Dr. Maya Torres, stood beside him. The audience erupted in applause. And Daniel began his speech with the words that had carried him from failure to destiny. The secret that saved my life wasn't knowledge. It was someone who believed I was worth teaching. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to Boundless Echoes for more interesting stories. We really appreciate your support. Comment where you are watching from, so we can give you a shout out. See you in our next video.